Hi everyone, and a warm welcome back to the second feedback video after week 2 of the 21-day healing program that we're doing now in May 2022. And the theme this time is Dissolve Collective Programming, Connect to the New Earth. And what to say? Wow, what a powerful round this is. To be honest, I'm still very tired from all the energies going through me. We have a lot of energy, like normal ascension cosmic energies coming into the earth at the moment as well, and just coming out from the eclipse period. But I just want to say that you are absolutely amazing. Wow, I'm so it's such an incredible dedication that you have. I'm so I don't know, I don't find the words. I'm completely blown away. So thank you so much for what you're doing for yourself and also for the collective. It's an amazing job. So today I will talk about this past week, of course, week 2, and what we have been working on, me and your Ascension teams. And of course, I will also read some of your emails. I will answer some questions. So let's dive right in. What we have been working on during this past week. Day number 8. We deprogrammed mortality, and this is a big one. This is the deepest and most fundamental of all fears, the fear of dying. And there is a big misconception, of course, very incorrect programming that was placed in the human matrix, like faulty connection that has made us live with constant fear present at all times. So we did a very strong cleansing purification process inside the crystal chamber. And when we just started the cleansing process, I saw how you just laying down there and you were trembling, you were shaking and trembling when this deep seated fear was cleansed away from your body. So it was a very, very powerful cleansing process. But after this purification process, you were all just floating in this void of nothingness, the void of the 0 point energy. It was a very pleasant reset, and hopefully we now have the opportunity to live without this fear present. Because I know that, of course, many people know, like intellectually, that we're not dying. We know that our soul is still living and we are reincarnating and everything, if you believe in that, of course. But we were working on this on a very deep cellular level, on a deep soul and energetic level. So it was a very, very powerful cleansing process. And the day after, day 9, we were programming immortality, of course. And this was very interesting because we were, there was this energy of transition that was being programmed into your consciousness to be able to walk between dimensions. And also this energy of transmutation, that is the transformation of matter. So this can also you can call this shape-shifting, or the ability to switch from one form to another form. So this was programmed into your consciousness, that your ability to transmute, the transformation of matter and the transition, that was programmed in your consciousness. Very interesting. And with that program, we really received the deep knowledge that we are immortal, not only intellectually, but on a cellular level, a soul level, on an energetic level. So we know now deep down that we are immortal and that we are just changing forms. And the thing is that with the core always remains the same. It's like the seed. The soul is the same, but the shell can be different. We can take on different forms. And then day 10, we were deprogramming social systems and codes. And this is also a big one. We were working on removing these codes from your energy systems. We have many social codes that we are both aware of, and of course many that we're not really aware of because we're not thinking about this. It just is. And I saw it as very tiny, very small grains in the energy field around you and partly inside you that we were removing. And this process, that was also very interesting because this process was very highly controlled. And there were many, many beings involved. Actually, beings that are not in your team came and helped with this process. It was like, if I try to explain, it was like different light beings from different civilizations. They were removing. They had their own speciality. They had their own area that they were responsible for. So there was, for example, one light being taking care of all the green grains, and one other light being is taking care of all the red ones. So they were picking those that they were responsible for. So that's why there were so many light beings involved in this process. So it's very highly controlled, and they were specified on their specific area. And after that process, or actually during the process and also after this process, there were these inspectors, I would call them. They checked that everything was gone, all these grains, all these codes were gone, and that everything was okay. So there was these inspectors going around taking notes. It's like, oh, this and that, you have to change this. This is not correct. And it was very, very highly controlled. And yeah, so that's how. Now I have a crazy cat here. She's been asleep all day. Okay, so and then day 11, we were programming the opposite, the free soul in the universe. And your unique and free expression was anchored and strengthened. So your unique tone, your unique soul's melody, like this little diamond in your heart, that was enhanced. And that the area around the diamond in your heart was cleansed so that it could be much more luminous and clear, this diamond in your soul's essence. And then that energy was activated in your innermost being. And after that activation, it was enhanced and it was going out to all of your cells and igniting all your cells and igniting your true soul's essence, your unique soul's tone throughout your whole being. So that was a beautiful, beautiful process to be part of and to witness. So this is so that you can be fully you with your amazing, unique expression, and you can totally blossom to your full potential and be completely free. So that was a beautiful process. So many beautiful processes. I just love these 21-day healing programs. Okay, so day 12, we were deprogramming fears and anxiety. And as we have been cleansed away the largest fear, like the basic fundamental fear of all fears, that is the fear of mortality, that was cleansed out. So during this day, we worked on all the fears that have originated from the fear of dying. So in the same way as we were working on during the separation deprogramming, maybe you remember that from last week, we followed all the energy wires, all the energy cords or threads, energy threads. We were following all these energy threads that were sourced from this fundamental fear. They came from this original fear of dying. And then we went through these, we were following these energy wires, energy threads, and we unhooked all these energy wires and then brought the energy home to you. Because there was, like energy going everywhere in the universe, like many different lifetimes, in this lifetimes, all the different fears that you have on a daily basis, and different events, different people, everything. So we were just collecting all these energy threads, unhooked them and collected them. And we did this for all 3D timelines, all the timelines that you all have different fears. And so we're bringing these cords home, bringing them back to you. And also there was this process to be able to release these energy threads from their hooks or their mounts. They had to be able to really take them by the root. We had to add an electric shock to your body, like an energy electric shock, so that all these energy threads were just released. It was just a little bit like, I don't know what you call it in English, like when you restart the heart, when you go into the hospital and they put this electrical thing on you and you're just lifting up from the bed. It was like that. I don't know if anybody felt that, but it was kind of harsh, but it was a nice release though. And then we reeled in all these cords and we did a transmutation of the energy, because these energy wires, these energy threads, they have been going to these different fear experiences. So we had to transmute the energy of all of these energy threads when we were bringing them back. So they totally lost their negative charge, of course, of fear and anxiety. So it was like a neutralization process, so that the energy can be used in another way. And maybe you felt more energized after this process. Maybe you can look at your notes and see if you did feel more energized after this process. Okay, so day 13 was beautiful. I love this because we were programming love, safety, trust. And you were just rocked in this sea of unconditional love. I saw a lot of colors, like pastels, the colors of the rainbow, this fluffy, pink, wonderful energy. So it was a beautiful process in the crystal chamber for you. Very, very nice energy. So beautiful. So that you could really feel and anchor this deep trust within you, and that you're totally secure, and just being able to rest there in this sea of love, in the sea of unconditional love. And then the next, so many different aspects. Day 14, we were deprogramming dystopia and depression after this beautiful love session. And here we did a very, very deep, profound purification of dark energies. It was a lot of dark energies. And we were talking, I talk about dark energies a lot. Very, very dark. So all the dark energies, like the purification of the dark energies that are connected to this dimension on the earth. And this is like the suppressing power of humanity. So it was deep. It was profound, really. So this was deeply embedded programming in your energy field and in the physical body. And so we had to use very powerful purification tools and so that we could really reach on a deep level into your cells to be able to purify this suppressing programming. So that's it. We have been doing a lot of different things during this week, and I can see some trends in the group and some recurring themes for you this week. Just gonna have some water. There's still a lot of galactic contact, and I'm gonna, of course, read some emails about that. Of course, we were doing a lot of purification processes, so of course you were having these processes of like physically, emotionally purging. Of course, a lot of dreams. I think most of you, it feels like most of you are dreaming a lot, and that's good. That's really good, because then you're cleansing out past karma. And nausea, some dizziness, still for some of you. Pains and aches, different pains and aches in your body, and of course very tired. And some people have been experiencing confusion and forgetfulness and not really knowing where you are. I'm going to speak a little bit about that during this feedback video. So that's the overall recurring themes for you. And now I will just go through some of your emails. What a great help you were in giving your point of view of my dreams. You told me to explore and go into my need to ask the question, what lesson do I have to learn? I did, and my intuition gave me the answers right away. Yes, beautifully. The free ebook you recommended, The Journey by Brandon Bass, gave me all the answers I needed. I sat down around the fire and invited all the people concerned for a talk. Why did they act that way? Why did they do this, etc.? And I forgave everyone and myself also. This was a big relief. And that book is really something to read, but your help was more than enormous. I can only imagine how great this will be after 21 days. Yes, I know these programs are very powerful, and I just love Brandon Bass and her work. It's amazing. So if you haven't heard about her and you haven't checked that out, please do. It's called The Journey. You'll find it right away when you Google it. Another one. I want to share that the dietary suggestions are perfect. I'm a vegetarian. However, I'm surprised I'm having difficulty giving up sugar. Yeah, there's a question in here. Can Zoe speak more about the negative effects of sugar and why it was introduced to us? I felt immortality slipping away from me yesterday. I have had a deep inner experience every day, but yesterday it's hard to explain. I felt stuck. So unusual for me. I fly around a lot, but immortality eluded me yesterday. Thank you so much. Okay, yeah, sugar. And I'm talking about cane sugar, just to make that clear. I'm not talking about fruit. I'm not talking about other kinds of sugar, because there's a lot of sugars. Cane sugar. Well, from my point of view, this was introduced to humanity to suppress us. And this was not from, this is from the dark forces, of course. And if you look at the sugar molecule, and it actually has a negative spin. You know, the different molecules and the electrons and protons and everything, they have a spin, that like the molecule has a spin. And it has a negative spin, which means that it goes the opposite way of the organic universal spin, from the light. The light spin, it's going in one direction, and sugar goes in the other direction, which means that it causes holes in your light body, and it acts as knives because it's cutting your aura, cutting your energy field, and it's cutting your DNA. So it's very, very destructive. And as we know, if you look around, go to a grocery store, there's a lot of sugar everywhere. It can be quite difficult to get off sugar because you can't buy anything because it's sugar in everything. But these days it's getting better and better, and as you are aware of it and can make a conscious choice, please do. And when I learned this, I quit sugar from like one day to another. Sometimes, when you go to a restaurant, it's quite difficult. You can, if you're asking for food without any sugar, it's impossible. So we're doing our best, but now you know this is from my knowledge, from my perspective, about the molecule going in the other direction. That's information from some colleagues of mine, and they're not calling it channeling. They're calling it I don't remember now, but they have contact with a group called Larkma from the Pleiades. It's called Larkma. It's Laarkmaa. Larkma. So they told me this about the sugar molecule. I just want to give you the source of this information. So another one. Hello again. Today was very interesting. I felt instructed to make certain sounds. I heard myself making grunting sounds and deep sighing sounds. I received the message that these were freeing sounds, specifically for my solar plexus. And I then felt energy rushing out of my feet. The elephant was present again, a huge presence of gentle love. Feeling much freer and more expansive within, not wanting to engage with the outside world. However, I was told I will be returning to the world as my work here is not done. And here I was thinking I could ease on out of here and return to my temple. I identify much more with Lemuria than with Atlantis. My temple is in a shimmering silver city somewhere, and not sure where, but it's on my home planet. I feel very fortunate to be doing this work at this time. I have no idea how Zoe's website turned up in my email box, but it is so profound blessing. But it is a profound blessing to be a part of this 21-day healing process, and I honor Zoe's commitment to helping humanity during this critical time on Earth. Thank you, Zoe. Much love. Thank you, dear one. And I can relate to that temple that you were speaking of. I just want to share very briefly that I do have a contact with a temple that I like in a different dimension. I see it as on the Pleiades, where I have access to a temple. It's a crystal temple, and I've been having this mission of returning some of the energies that were taken off the earth at the destruction of Atlantis, the fall of Atlantis. And I think we have one energy left to come down again from the temple, from that crystal temple. So it has been hidden, sort of. We took that energy away from the earth at the fall of Atlantis, and now it's coming back again. So it's still one energy left to come down to the earth and reunite with us. So I just wanted to share. I don't know why it was such a long time ago I worked with these energies, but I discovered this in 2014, I guess. So I just wanted to share that with you. And another email from the same person. Encountered physical pain during today's deprogramming session. At the beginning of the hour, several healers gathered on both sides of my bed. They became very busy with their hands, fluttering all over and around me. It felt as if my outer layer was being rolled away. Then the beings began removing waste. 2 tubes were placed in my abdomen, and I felt the sensation of releasing as etheric fluids poured out of me. I was told that the surgery I had in November created imbalance and darkness in my lower back. I could feel them working in that area. I began to cry, more releasing from deep within. The pain was in my pelvic area as the fluids were pouring out. Not bad pain, but definitely noticeable. I fell asleep for the first time and woke up feeling refreshed and much lighter. Again, the healing beings around me had elongated heads, and there seemed to be a leader this time directing everything, and it was an androgynous being with a silver cape. Thank you, love. Okay, yeah, I just want to reflect on that surgery that you had in November. When I used to give private sessions, I don't do that anymore. But I do remember when I had clients who had been in a surgery, could be like very long time ago. I saw that, you know, the doctors are doing the surgery on a physical level, but they're also at the same time destroying the energy. Um, for example, there was this woman she had some kind of surgery in her stomach, and or was it her uterus or something, and they cut her open, and then they're not just cutting the flesh. I'm sorry for for the details. They're also cutting the energy field. So since I'm working with energies, I had to restore the energy field from that surgery. And of course, doctors, they're not aware of this at all. They're just doing the physical surgeries. But it would be great if we could, you know, collaborate and work with energies at the same time. Then the healing process after surgery would be so much better. Just wanted to tell you a little bit about that. Hello, beautiful Zoe, Annette, and Cassandra. And Annette, Cassandra, they are my assistants working with me. I have several assistants, but they're involved in this process with you. I look back on this past week with much gratitude for the beautiful energies I received and the experiences I had and insights I gained. During day 7, once again, I experienced extreme cold moments and I felt my cells vibrating. At times, I felt like floating in a void, total blackness, and the place of infinite possibilities. Other times, I felt like drifting from one movie to another, from a lush forest into the depth of the ocean, swimming with whales, to a pilgrimage in the Tibetan mountain village. There was a deep stillness, a calm and reverence for beauty and love. Day 8. At the beginning, I had a conversation with my little voice that told me I was not ready for this, that I was overestimating myself. Eventually, I told the voice that I was ready and that perhaps she should go a deprogramming her own fears. After that, a deep calm came over me. There were waves of cold, times I felt I was somewhere else, and times I heard big church bells ringing, times I saw flickers of light like stars. I saw colors as well, uh, but all through I experienced a profound calm and sense of safety. It was an amazing and restoring meditation, very special. Day 9, I experienced stronger energies in all the meditations that day. Again, I felt waves of freezing cold. I saw different gorgeous colors, and I remember 3 visuals. The first was at the end of a sandy beach where there were big boulders, one in the crystal clear water. It was very beautiful and peaceful. The second was in the woods where I saw an old what's that word? Dilapidated, I don't know, dilapidated hut made out of planks. Inside there was a chair, and on it sat a mummified woman in layers of old-fashioned clothes. A tall male being stood in front of me. Then he picked her up, but picked her up over his shoulders and walked out. In the third visual, I saw two people in a deep hole in a sand dune and in a desert, excavating using a small bucket. In all three events, I was just the observer. Any idea that what the message is? Well, from what I can see, there's a lot of old like baggage being cleared away. I mean, there was this mummified woman and this tall male. I see that as our star brother, picking her up over his shoulder and walked out. Taking things out like from 3D, and these two people in deep hole in a sand dune, using small buckets, excavating. So all these visuals, I see it as a cleansing process, clearing out the old, definitely. And at the end of the session, I felt tired and sort of empty, like I was here but was not. Day 10 was very special. During the 11th gate travel, I felt that the energies came in much quicker. My body dissolved, my awareness was in the void. In the calmness, I saw what was still holding me back. It amazes to realize how deep some programs are buried. During honoring 3D, I felt a reverence for my parents and siblings, as well as for some instances I wish never happened. And I was able to look at them without judgment. That's beautiful. Wow. Deprogramming social systems was so far the most intense experience. I called my team and I recognized that the archangels Raphael, Gabriel, and Metatron, Jesus and Mary, Ignacio de Loyola, and Archangel Michael. I don't know that the other one there. Other entities, my Spanish is not so good. It's non-existing actually. Other entities were there, but I did not know them. I was in the crystal chamber where they began to work by pulling out long strands of filaments out of my body. Then I was lowered into a stainless steel chamber. I felt quite nauseous and I had to keep swallowing. After a while, I was returning to the crystal bed, and from there I felt a forward movement, and then I began rising higher and higher into the blackness. But it was warm, and I felt an incredible, powerful love energy. So that tear welled up, and I stayed there for a while. I remember that on the ascent, I could not feel my body, and thought that perhaps this is what happened when one dies, and it was so serene and peaceful. And I knew I was in the presence of God, and I was fused with the God energy. Um, After a while, I felt a downward motion. I started to feel my body again, very slowly. And when I came back into my room, it took a while to be me again. Other interesting things happened when they were working on my solar plexus, and all I saw was a hole in my body. There were no organs. It was weird, but not scary. Okay. Day 11. During this meditation, I bathed in divine energies. I was given a golden symbol. I was traveling through the most beautiful landscapes that reminded me of Earth, but it felt different. I also saw different planets, and I felt totally at ease, yet curious. Then I arrived at the door and remembered the symbol. It opened the door, and it was a really black room. But then when I looked around, I saw a myriad of possibilities, many, many small chambers. It was a place of plenty. There was one filled with love, another with joy, another with peace, another with laughter, and another with abundance, and so on. It is up to each one of us to remember that this place exists, and that is always available for us, and that from this place of plenty, We can choose anything and everything we want to create a new world, a new life. Wow, that's a beautiful experience. Remind me of a meditation that I did, be an attractive magnet for money. And when you go up to this, I don't know what I call it, like this castle of all possibilities or something. You can pick and choose. You can go to different rooms. So you can feel the energies and pick and choose whatever you want to. Anyhow, day 12, honoring 3D becomes easier and with it more gratefulness and ease. Deprogramming fears was different. I was transported, semi-conscious, aware but strange. I felt a few aches and sharp pains in my tummy and right thigh. I was shown a double page of an old book with yellowish pages. There was old writing in black ink. On the left upper corner, there was a red symbol. It was only a flash and it was gone. I saw dark red old rolled up carpet in a dark room. And then I saw beautiful blue color. I did feel nauseous sometimes. I guess fear sits deep within places I do not yet know exist. Yes, absolutely. And day 13, I was aware of thoughts going through my mind, but did not really register. I was aware of bathing in beautiful energies, floating in a kind of plasma with myriads of light bubbles. Everything was still, and I felt my cells vibrating. Coming out of the meditation, I had no idea where I was at first. Mentally, I knew I had to be in my room, but it did not feel like it, so I just stayed there until I could feel myself back completely. Language is limiting. It does not really do justice to everything I have experienced. It has turned out to be quite a long mail anyway. Thank you, Zoe, for being here with us, for helping us to navigate these times. Thank you for your beauty, love, and guidance. Many thanks also to Annette and Cassandra for their contributions. With much love and gratitude. Thank you so much for this beautiful, all these descriptions of your sessions. I know language is very limiting, but I think, at least for myself, I can feel the energies as I'm reading, and I think your fellow participants can feel it too. Very, very beautiful. Okay, and this is from Facebook. An amazing journey for my soul, a brand new gardening team. Week 1, 5th day, and the day of merging with Source. We would like to bring you on an extra journey. Can you come? First, I met 3 Syrians. They introduced themselves, but only to my soul. I'm not ready to meet with their high frequencies. They took my soul to a journey to Sirius and showed me, and I could slightly see one lifetime there, when I have had a name sounding like Hagar. Then to a mothership. We know you are not so interested in laboratories, the Syrian said, but we would like to introduce you to our breeding apartment. Hi, I'm 0 months old. I can already speak. I am Syrian. How lovely to meet you, I replied. Do you already have a name? I feel I will receive a name when I'm capable to walk. Now I need rest. I'm 0 months old. I think that was just hilarious. My new Syrian guides then brought me to a huge greenhouse on board the mothership. 10 very different extraterrestrials of different species introduced themselves. Again, only to my soul. I'm not ready to hear their names yet, either or to see them very clearly. We would love to assist you to restore your gardens. Would you like our help? Oh, yes, I do. I have 3 small gardens and some indoor plants. Since I became quote unquote sick 6 months ago, they are not very well looked after. Slowly, when I now start to recover, I made small attempts to restore them. My new team interrupted my thoughts. We would like to inspire you and guide you when you restart your gardens. I felt so pleased and happy and grateful to have met my great Ascension team. Now I have a gardening team as well. Yes, thank you for sharing this. This was beautiful, and I have a project that I've been having with some of my friends for two or 3 years now. It's called Sacred Garden, and we're using different tools like energy tools, crystals, and sacred geometry. We're working with different methods and also speaking with our light beings to get guidance. Unfortunately, we haven't really had time to do that much with this garden, but we have the intention. So we are experimenting a little bit with different sort of spiritual or energetic aspects. I just wanted to mention that to you. I just want to briefly add that I have experienced an unusual number of synchronicities during this time regarding the content of the 21-day healing program. Yes. And another one last week, old sport injuries and psychosomatic stress surge came back that I had before I became exhausted, such as chest pain and difficulty breathing. It has started from the bottom and migrated upwards, like hamstrings, ankles, knees, hips, chest, and teeth. I realized that everything is stored in the body, and these ailments contain various traumas for both body and soul that need to be to be resolved. And I'm not reading all of the email, but later on, she wrote another email. And thank you. Now all the pain has disappeared. So that's how it works. You know, it gets more intense, and it's getting worse, as I've been speaking about in the last video. And then there is a possibility for the pains and aches to actually disappear. So that's what happened for this woman. Okay, now I have some more questions that I'm gonna talk a little bit about and try to answer at least. I'm currently participating in the 21-day healing program. I'm just wondering if Zoe can clarify when she's talking about the mothership and us being taken up to the mothership. What race of extraterrestrials operate on the mothership that she's speaking of? Are these Pleiadians, Nordic, etc.? Well, I cannot give you all of them because I don't know. I just know what I know. I just know the ETs that I'm in contact with, and those are from the Pleiades and also from Sirius. And those two civilizations are very close to me. But of course, there's a lot of different ETs on the mothership. Most of them are from the Galactic Federation of Light. It is a Galactic Federation of Light mothership. But there are also other beings from other civilizations that are coming and sharing their knowledge as well. This is information that they're giving me right now. So there is a small percentage of the quote-unquote people up there who are not included in the Galactic Federation of Light. They're more like outside and coming in to assist and during this process with us and during the ascension process as a whole. Also, when I was recently watching Zoe's weekly 21-day healing summary, she mentioned that she saw rooms on the mothership that were like laboratories where there might be DNA changes occurring. I'm seeking additional clarification on this detail. Thank you all so much for your assistance with this matter. I hope you all are doing well. Okay, maybe I was not so clear about these DNA because I think it's just so common. But of course, there are a lot of experiments in the laboratories up on the ship where they are creating life. That's what they're doing, and it's not like bad experiments like they're doing with like here on Earth with GMOs and things like that. It's not like that at all. But they are creating life, and they are what's the word? They're adjusting and fine tuning creation. That's what they're doing. So, for example, they're giving me an example now. An apple, the creation of an apple. Of course, there are many different apples, but they think that, oh, we want to make the apple even more sweet, even more tasty. How can we do that? Yes, we go to the DNA laboratory and we mixture with the DNA. We it's like a computer program, as I've been speaking about in the last video as well. So they're adjusting and fine-tuning the creation. That's what they're doing. And also they are creating life. They're creating babies. They're creating hybrid babies. I'm not super 100% sure that they're doing that on this mothership that I'm talking about. Cannot confirm that. But I hope that clarifies a little bit. And that person also ended the email, sending positive light and well wishes your way. Kindest regards. Okay, another one. Dearest, deep diving continues. Not so dizzy anymore, but ringing in both ears and clearer and more aware. Profoundly liberated, and I am much more calm. I have gone for a visit to the mothership with my team outside the healing schedule, and I was greeted and went into crystal chambers and met beautiful guides. I got message that I'm also Lyran, and in addition to Pleiadian. A lion-looking woman is now added to my team, and from before I recently had a tall blue support I also think is Lyran. Can Zoe confirm that? It's very difficult. You have a lot of questions, but it's really difficult for me to confirm everything, because it's your experiences. And to me, that tall blue being, it sounds like blue avian. I have not so much experience from Lyrans, so it's very difficult for me to say that. But I think I would say it's a blue avian, but I don't know. I really don't know. Another question. I'm very familiar to these ships and work there too. Oh, that was a question. Am I very familiar? Probably. Very familiar. It's difficult also to say. I advise you to explore yourself and ask your team members and ask them to show you and give answers to your questions. Since time and space is not an issue, we here on Earth and there at the same time? Yes, I would say so. Yes, we are on different levels, in different dimensions, in different places all at once. And you also ask, how do I look up there like a Lyran? I cannot answer that. I'm sorry. So yeah, you can just ask your team and see what information you get. In the later healing sequence was also Christ with his strong consciousness light, and Buddha, more golden in the new earth energy frequency. Also, a bright person, very high in rank on the mothership, that I did not get who it was. It was not the Ashtar Command. And this question I don't really understand. Are we linked to the mothership Galactic Council of Light? Or is that a federation for several ships? I think you mean, are we connected to? You probably mean the Galactic Federation of Light, because that's what I call this federation. It's a federation of different civilizations. That is, it's like UN, but on but with light. So there are different civilizations coming together and help out, keeping the light and keeping peace. So, and of course we are connected to them, but we are not included. Earth is not included in the Galactic Federation of Light because we're not of light yet. Okay, it might be Zoe's guide leader, the Syrian, and that is very high frequency and unknown energy sphere for me. Is it a name on the commander leading the visits? I don't know. You have to explore that yourself. I have several guides that lead me, and as if it depends on the topic. Is our crystal chamber always on the same mothership? What is it called? I guess the mothership. I usually don't get names, and I would say yes on the same mothership at this very moment during this 21-day healing program. Yes, they're on the same ship. I'm truly in love today after release and programming in day 13. Still pressure on stigmata points, but tells me my energy is high, as I do not see. I also talk light language more. Oh, that's lovely. So happy I'm here with you all. Great. So I'm sorry I couldn't answer all the questions since I'm not doing a reading and like a personal readings during this 21-day healing program, but I hope you can find the answers yourself by asking your team, asking yourself, and yeah. Okay. I just briefly want to speak about. There has been several people writing in talking about their feeling a lot of confusion, not knowing what reality they are in, and also this nausea and dizziness. And because I got, for example, one email: "Hi, and thank you very much for the healing. I was thinking about one thing. It feels like I'm losing my mind a bit. I do not remember things. I forget. It's a strange feeling." And just briefly, in the ascension process, we are changing dimensions. We are changing. I'm not talking about 3D going to 5D, but to multidimensionality. You know that by now. So, and as we're doing this process, we are in contact with many, many different dimensions. We're in contact with many different timelines. And that is confusing because there are different timelines. It's like crisscross. It's like this different threads, in this very messy kind of state of being with all the different timelines available to us. And that is very confusing. And also we are changing from more being more physical, on a physical level in 3D, and now into multidimensionality. We are more fluffy, we are more like energy beings. And so that's why also we are not really knowing where we are. It's very confusing, and also losing track of time, and losing memory, etc. So in this process, I just want to mention that it's very important to stay fully connected to the heart, because that is where your soul is situated, that the core of your heart. So when you're changing, when you're shifting dimensions, that is what you bring with you. So keep your focus in your heart. And when you feel like this, when you're feeling dizzy, when you're feeling confused or forgetful or whatever. So yeah. And just briefly about the meditations. I love the meditations, and when I do the meditation Quantum Leap to the New Earth, I cry out of humility and love. Usually I meet my inner male, but when I go into the new world, I can decide if I want to be a man or a woman. It's so beautiful there, such gorgeous colors. All encounters are so loving. The animals roam freely and are curious. I've met a dog that is part of my team here as well. The clothes on the people are simple but so beautiful. The buildings are elegant. I would like to stay here. Yes, I totally agree with you. Yeah. Okay, and then there is this experience of the 0 point energy. Um, and when I stepped into the temple of my heart, I experienced the most beautiful place imaginable, with tall marble pillars, beautiful flowers, butterflies, birds, and angels. The feeling was to be in the middle of everything. In front of me lay an infinite straight out in the universe. The temple lacked walls, and behind me likewise an infinity. I was in the middle of everything that is, here and now. I was everything and nothing at the same time. I was the whole universe in one breath. There was only me. I was everything that was in one and the same now. Then I realized how great I am, that everything that exists fits inside me, in my heart. I am everything. I am. It was an incredibly, indescribably beautiful experience. The next day, I was sitting outside in the same place in the sun, and I did the quantum leap meditation. I had an encounter with the upgraded version of myself, a beautiful, very powerful, and radiant woman. When the sound of the cranes came at the end of the meditation, I started crying immediately. My heart opened wide, and I cried like a child. I then understood why I've always loved cranes. Every spring I wait for them, and my heart always dances when I hear them for the first time. We have several cranes living in our area, and sometimes they walk outside our garden, just a few meters away. I hold these birds in high esteem, and I'm so grateful for this close contact with them. I just love them. Towards the end of the meditation, the sounds of cranes intensified and became more and more authentic. It felt like they were right here, next to me. I took off my headphones and looked up in the sky. Above me came a huge line of cranes. Their sound and presence filled my being, and to my great joy, they began to circulate directly above me. I just stood there and took in the moment, their sounds and their presence, while they circulated above me for at least 15 minutes. When they finally disappeared from sight and their sound faded out, a new line came, and they also began to circulate above me. At the same time, our local cranes trumpeted their greetings to their friends in the air. The atmosphere was so magical, it was almost unreal, and the happiness in my heart was complete. What an incredibly amazing experience. I feel an enormous gratitude and a great confirmation of the togetherness and synchronicity in life. Wow. We're heading into a new era. We're already there. In a small quantum leap, everything is possible. Lots of love and light to you all. This was just so beautiful. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so much. Okay, we are already actually in the last week. So I'm just going to go through very briefly. Day 15, we start off with joy and programming of joy and euphoria. And then after that, we are deprogramming distorted dark sexuality. And then we are programming divine sexuality or divine sex. And then we are deprogramming lack and then programming abundance. And the last 2 days, we are connecting to the new earth and expanding to infinity. So that's the schedule for this last week. And thank you so much for watching this video. And I wish you all the best now for this last week. Take good care of yourself. I will. I will have some rest now. And Sending you so much love and beauty on your way. See you. Bye-bye. Bye.